It's a pleasure to spend some time with Jazz Mathur, a very successful entrepreneur and the founder of Limitless. But Jazz has a passion deeper than creating successful businesses. He's an advocate for health and wellness and points to his own health journey to inspire others. Jazz is a tremendous supporter of HealthCorps, the national non-for-profit my wife Lisa and I founded in 2003. And together with the help of supporters and influencers like Jazz, we are harnessing the power of teens to close the health equality gap in high-need communities. Now, Jazz, I got to say, first off, I was so impressed by your dancing skills because you joined us at the gala. But I want to go back and figure out how you became Jazz Mathur.
Yes.
What was your passion when you first started this endeavor of yours? What was your goal as you first got started in the business world? And I really mean the formative years in particular, because I want our young audience to understand it, because they want to copy you.
So growing up, I was a huge wrestling fan. And all I used to do was, I'd order all the wrestling pay-per-views and I would listen to, I'd call the 900 number. I'd get all the news, get all of that going on. And when I was about in elementary school, I used to go in the library and I would, get access to the computer. I'd play video games on it. I'd learn, the typing and printing stuff and all that. So by age 11, my parents got me a computer.
God bless. I can imagine being your mom.
That's probably the best thing I ever got, because that computer, internet at that time was very, very slow. It was dial-up connection, 8 kilobytes a second. I was in Canada, so we'd have these little CDs, America Online. We'd have to put the CD in and connect. Long story short, being a wrestling fan, at WWE, which was back then WWF, they didn't even have their own website. So they used to just be on America Online. So I used to go there in the chat rooms, and I used to go in MIRC. And I learned web design. I learned how to build a website through a bulletin board. Back in '96, you can build websites on free platforms like Angel Fire, GeoCities and stuff. And what I would do is I'd call the 900 number, I'd take the news, and I'd post it online. And I would go in these chat rooms and I'd put my website address there. And people would go in, they'd go to the website. And slowly, I started to build, a lot of visitors would come in, a couple hundred, 200, 300, 400 a day.
That's shocking.
That's how it all started.
When did you first realize that you had a knack for this, that you were going to succeed?
I honestly, I just got glued to it. Once I saw that I could bring people to the website, that I started to learn HTML, which before Photoshop even came out, it was like Paint Shop Pro and Corel Draw and stuff. That's when I saw that, okay, 10, 15, 20 years from today, everybody's, digital this is the new era. So I just started to get glued to it. When I started making money from it, that's when I knew that there's something there.
I mean, takeaway for a lot of the younger viewers is that there's things they have asymmetric knowledge on. They know the equivalent of what you're speaking about,
correct,
in circa now.
Yes.
And folks our age don't know it anymore, and they can get that advantage and leverage it and push hard and take advantage of their insights. So as you're doing all this, you're ignoring one thing in your life, which is your health.
Correct.
If I can share your weight.
Yes.
You've been public about it, and God bless you for doing that.
Thank you.
You get up to 450 pounds.
Yes.
At some point, you have the epiphany that you can walk and chew gum. You can be successful in business and have a studly body, look like a gazelle, which is your current appearance. When did you have that insight, and what did you do about it?
So it took time. Basically, the good thing that happened when I was really young was getting a computer, learning how to make money with it, using things for the right reasons, and then not getting caught up in a lot of different things. The bad thing that happened was that computer led to me sitting down and then discarding physical activity. So when I was a kid, when I was in elementary school, I used to play basketball. I used to play many different sports, and then I stopped. So I wasn't really super overweight when I was in elementary school. It's after the fact. And, it led up from the age of, I would say 13, 14, leading all the way through when I was about 21, 22. And that's when I was doing a lot of different businesses. So it started with that one website, and it led to many more things. And those things all required me to sit on my computer, because even no matter what I would do, whether it was a product or whether it was another different type of website, I would need to do marketing. And that marketing was behind the computer, behind the desk. And it would require just sitting down. So in sitting, eating, feeding your brain, carbs, the more carbs you eat, the more sugars, the more, energy you end up getting, right? So ultimately, I realized that I was overweight only, believe it or not, when Facebook was coming out. So I knew I was overweight, but I didn't want to do anything about it. I didn't care, because I didn't have a social life. I wasn't going out. I was just, too busy sitting behind the computer and doing what I'm doing, that I put everything else aside. And I just, when I realized it's because we were reconnecting with old friends. I didn't want anybody to see me. And I also ended up getting things that I couldn't fit inside a car. There's a lot of different aspects to it. And that's when I decided I wanted to start losing weight.
So what was the emotional impact of being so good at one part of your life, but tripping on something as important as your weight and long-term health? And also I'm curious about the impact it had on your ability to go out and be social and be the person you really are. Did you feel like you were hidden inside the body?
Yeah, I basically reinvented myself. So in essence, the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today, the slogan for my business and everything I tell people is you reinvent yourself, right? You can be anybody who you desire to become ultimately, right? Anything you set your mind to, you can achieve. The emotional aspect there was I didn't realize what I was doing. I didn't realize the importance of health. I thought that, making money was everything, and I just wanted to not do more. But it took me some time, and that's when I realized the importance of health, and I transitioned over.
So how did you prevent yourself from slipping back to where you were? And I ask this because a lot of people that I've had on the show will say, I've gained and lost 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Right? It's different pounds. A lot of people will lose the weight, but once you get to 450, you go back up again.
Correct.
But you've not done that.
No. So it's the discipline. Number one, I never did a full-on crash diet. A lot of people go on certain programs or they'll do certain type of surgeries. And then after a while, if you don't change your diet and incorporate certain activities and things like that, you'll fall back to what you used to be. So you have to understand your body. Everybody's body is different. So I can't go and give somebody advice. I can give general advice, but specific to achieve a certain type of body goal, you really can't. So it was the discipline. I understood the food, the diet, the supplementation, what does what to do after a certain time, what not to do after a certain time, and then how much to eat, what kind of food to eat in moderation.
So if you had to look back at that 21-year-old version of yourself,
yes,
what would you tell that Jazz Mathur, the person you are now?
Health should come first, not to have a balanced life. So the one thing about me is I used to be very bad before. Now I'm a lot better at this. It's being extremist. So if I'm going to do something, I'll just do that one thing, and I'm going to stop everything else. Yeah. And what I should have done is still incorporated a little bit of physical activities in my life that I used to do before, and just balanced everything out a little bit better, which is what I didn't do.
You seem limitless now, which happens to be the name of your company,
yes,
which I don't think is an accidental title.
No.
Explain your vision and what you'd like to share with a lot of people watching now who think they see themselves in you and they want to be more like you.
So Limitless is a word that was coined and given to me by several people that I know based on what they see my day-to-day life. And for the past, 7-8 years ago, before I actually decided to use it. Limitless to me is you can achieve anything you set your mind to. You can be limitless. Anybody can be limitless. It's like knowing no boundaries, believing in yourself and taking that step forward, not having any restrictions. So for my message to anybody is that if don't hold back because somebody tells you can't do something or you don't believe you can, because if you don't take that chance, you don't take that shot, you're never gonna hit it.
I tell you what's amazing to me is that you've started on your own.
Yeah.
You figured out challenges, you got through them, and you continue to expand our horizons. And what's often limitless, I think, is you look at the horizon, the vista of opportunities out there, and they are truly limitless.
Yes.
If you see the world that way.
Yeah.
What's been the darkest moment, the rock bottom moment for you in your life that sort of catapulted you here? Most of the great people that I get to interview always had an opportunity to fail.
Yes.
And people could have failed in that situation.
Yes.
They decided they were going to take those lessons and build something bigger than they could
Correct.
ever have imagined.
Correct. Because what ends up happening is a lot of people, when you don't realize, when the first time or second time you're failing, you think your world is over because everybody around you, that's when you get to realize who your true friends are. Right? That's when you realize you could count them on one hand, if that. So that's happened to me. And everything I have today, everything I've achieved physically, mentally, emotionally, is because the people who I thought were the closest to me, never believed in me to begin with. They're there for the good times, but they're not there when you actually need the support, right? So ultimately, it helped me become stronger as a person, and it helped me go out and achieve more of what I wanted to do and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to do this for myself. And once you decide to do something for yourself and not for somebody else, or not to get back at somebody else for something, that's when you're going to win. That's when you're going to hit the top and succeed.
Oh, I love these messages. And I'll tell you that the whole insight around making sure you don't focus on people who have undermined you, who have enabled
Correct.
the wrong
Yeah, let them be.
Because it's like taking poison yourself to
No.
help the person opposite you.
Yeah, let them be. Just focus on your own personal growth. You know, there's no such thing as failure. There's a thing called lessons. There's a thing called learning. If you don't fall down, you're never going to learn how to stand up. You know, and you look at the most successful people in the world today in every capacity, they've all learned. They've all learned their lessons. Someone giving advice on something is giving it because they've learned it themselves in a certain way, right? So I believe in going through it and learning.
HealthCorps is an organization that we touched on at the very outset.
Yes.
You have been very kind to the organization. You're passionate about the young people who are often in underserved communities. Why HealthCorps? Why now?
Primarily because what I see what HealthCorps does and the message and everything that your team is doing is helping these young kids achieve their goals and dreams, giving them the right message and the right guidance and putting them on the right path to achieve what they want, or at least, believe that they can get to a certain level in life and not get distracted or diverted. So I feel I've done that in my life. I've felt that during my journey, I have been distracted. I've been diverted. People have tried to pull me left, right, and center, but I've stayed on track and focused. So that I saw that what HealthCorps is doing as a mission statement and day to day with these kids is what I have in common, what I've already done. And that's the reason why I'd like to support HealthCorps.
I've really enjoyed speaking with you.
Likewise.
Is there anything else you want to tell everybody?
That's it. Other than that, stay focused.
Stay focused.
Focus.
Now we're going to go wrestle.
Focus.
Listen, all of you, I hope you learned from this discussion from Jazz's journey. And there's a lot of advice he's got to offer. We're going to continue to try to get some of his wisdom out in front of you guys. I really appreciate all you've done.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And I know, especially young folks who benefit from it. But to your point, I'm 60. I feel young.
Listen, age is the number in that capacity. You got to feel young on the inside. Right. You're healthy. You got to stay healthy.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.